Asking me without asking me to create a waiata out of it. And so that whakapapa grew into the waiata that we see here. So the first part, we'll just take you through the first verse. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata. Kia rere arorangi. That's a classic line in our motiatea, in our old songs. So it talks about flying heavenwards. Kia rere arorangi. Ngā mata. Ngā mata, another word for where to look, your eyes, look upwards. Ki te ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. So I guess those are Te Rere Kohu's lines, and I think part of it is kind of knowing intuitively what that is and just with experience how to weave around it. So I guess the deep space that you talked about, ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. I took that to be the heavens, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. Ko wai hoki rā, ko wai hoki rā te wai. Who indeed is the water? Ko ahau rā, it is me. Ko wai nui ātea, it is wai nui ātea. Ka rere iho, ko te wai Moana. And from wai nui ātea flows ko te wai Moana. The great ocean, the long ocean, and Te Rere Kohu described hakere and tā poko poko. Yeah, so that's the first verse, and we're going to do that in a second, I think. Yeah? We get them up now? I'll get you up now. So you come in. Ngā mata is where everybody comes in. We'll just take you through kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. And if you can just think about that as you're singing it, ngā mata ki te ātea nui, think about that in the space of your mind and let it travel upwards. You can look up physically if you have to, and that's quite a good thing because it will help you retain the kupu. So the first part, whakatawi rātu? Yeah. So we'll just run you through the first part again. And by the way, we learnt this on Monday. Yep. So we're getting some practice here.
Sorry, Whande, before we whakatauira, can you repeat after me? Ngā mata. Ngā mata ki te ātea. Ngā mata ki te ātea nui. Ngā mata ki te ātea nui ki te whakawhetū. Ngā mata I te ātea nui ki te whakawhetū I te rangi.
Yeah, so it sort of has a constant oro, a constant sound. Take it away. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. Okay, well, maybe we'll sing it. And then have a listen, and ka hoki atu ki te tīmatanga. Give it a go. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. So just listen to that manawa taki beat in you. Ka pai? Give it a go. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. Doesn't sound too bad. Anō. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te ātea nui, ki te whakawhetū I te rangi. Okay, we'll carry on. Do we all sing the next line? Yes. Okay, and that goes up. Ko wai hoki rā te wai. Can we all get up there? Toru wha. Ko wai hoki rā te wai. Sort of comes down. Te wai, and then that takes us on to our next note. This is easy. The next three are very easy. We'll go back to the top. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te Aotea Nui, ki te whakawhetu i te rangi. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ka pai. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahau rā, ko wai nui Aotea. From the top. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te Aotea Nui, ki te whakawhetu i te rangi. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahau rā, ko wai nui Aotea. Ka pai, ka pai. Ka rere iho rā ko te wai Moana. So straight after Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahau rā, ko wai nui Aotea. Ka rere iho rā ko te wai Moana. Give it a go. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te Aotea, ki te whakawhetu i te rangi. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahau rā, ko wai nui Aotea. Ka rere iho rā ko te wai Moana. Almost there. Almost there. Ka rere iho rā ko te wai Moana. Ko wai hoki rā? What did I say?
Wāta mai reira.
Okay. He says we're gonna start from that high bit. Ko wai hoki rā. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahau rā, ko wai nui Aotea. Ka rere iho rā ko te wai Moana. Te Moana nui, te Moana roa, te Moana hakere, te Moana tā poko poko e i ana. So that e i ana is just something that is done in waiata, old songs, to fill the space, but it's really important. It's actually the oro. The sound has to be right at the end. Okay, from top. Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te Aotea Nui, ki te whakawhetu i te rangi. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahau rā, ko wai nui Aotea. Ka rere iho rā ko te wai Moana. Te Moana nui, te Moana roa, te Moana hake, te Moana tā poko poko e i ana. Ka pai.
Give yourselves a round of applause, whānau. And just to tautoko that, the hope was to give an actual example of intergenerational knowledge exchange using the mechanisms that our tupuna used. Kia ora.
Tēnā koutou, tēnei au e mihi. Ki te kaupapa, ki te waiata. So we have been blessed enough to have had the opportunity to work with this panel of amazing people in our Te Ao Māori Synthesis program. And I just would like to take the opportunity to tuku ko te mihi ki a koutou, i runga i te kaupapa ko karanga nei ia tātou i tēnei rā. Also, ki te waiata, like, there are so many levels of awesomeness in that waiata that we absolutely don't have the opportunity to go through today, but I just want everyone to understand that this is our world. Like, these waiata for our tamariki, Whaiaruiha talked about it being a ori ori, and these waiata would have been sung and are being sung to our tamariki, to our mokopuna, so that they are imbued with this knowledge. It is nothing separate to them. They are a living waiata, a living ori ori. So tēnei au ka mihi kauatu ana ki a kōrua, mo tēnei taonga. Te ao Māori synthesis, he kaupapa nui. He kaupapa nui, we have been tasked with a very large kaupapa to synthesize 10 years of research within sustainable seas in a te ao Māori way. That's kind of been our brief, which is huge. Whenever has this been done? I mean, we haven't had a sustainable seas in this form, so nor has there been an opportunity to synthesize this amount of rangahau and mahi over 10 years, and the depths and the types of rangahau that has been conducted. Never has it been done. And so we, as a rangahau team, gathered together a group of people who we could trust to help us get through this. To keep us alive, to guide us along the way, because we don't know. And we don't have to know. Who says that we need to know everything? We don't. But we do have access to people and knowledge that we need to actually connect to help us along the way. And so, honoured and blessed to be able to stand with this amazing team of mātāpuna who have helped us to form the Te ao Māori synthesis program as it is today. And which is another important kind of kōrero that we would like to share, is that because we don't know, we are developing as we go, and that's kei te pai too, but we are confident and grounded in the knowledge that we have the right people supporting us and helping us along the way. So, Te ao Māori synthesis, interactive session. And we understand that it's been 2 kind of days of lots and lots and lots of cool, amazing content, and your brain is probably like, ruaki, I'm so full, I just need to ruaki. We do not want you to be ruaking on our watch. We have another hour-ish, and we would love to be able to take you all into some of the mahi that we are doing within the Te ao Māori synthesis. And it's really hard for us to talk Te ao Māori synthesis in the framework that we're developing inside Te Wharenei, because all of the stuff that we're working on speaks to Moana, speaks to Taiao. And so, for us to start kind of growing a collective understanding in this whare, we would like to engage in an interactive activity that will involve you stepping out of your comfort zone. It will involve you having to reflect into yourselves, and it will involve talking and listening. So I know we've done lots of listening, but this is going to be a different kind of listening. It's going to be a deep listening. We're going to actually deeply whakarongo. So we are going to kick into it. Objectives. We want to be able to build a collective understanding on some of the core concepts that sit within the Te ao Māori program, and some of them have been talked about heaps today. And we would like to position those within our Te ao Māori program and kind of kīnaki, complement them with some deep understandings that our mātāpuna bring to this wānanga, to this conference today. So, we're going to get into it, because I'm on a timer and I didn't do very well with the timer last time. Deep reflections. This will require you to close your eyes and have a think about some stuff. We're going to take you on a little bit of a journey back into yourself. We can't get out into Taiao where we can experience all of these things, but we have them here in our mahara, in our pūmahara. We're going to have a little bit of a pūmahara session, and, okay, I have got some rules here. We're going to cut it down because we're on the time schedule. We're going to cut it down. We're going to give me 3 minutes. 3 minutes of pūmahara, of deep reflection. Your minds will want to flit, because that's what our minds do. When your mind flits out of where I'm asking it to be, just pull it in and tell it you can deal with that later. Pull it back in and just sit. It's very important that you do this. Closing eyes and amongst the whole collective whare of people might feel a bit weird and it will look weird too, but you won't see yourself, only me, so don't worry about that. And yes, those are the only instructions for now. Just think about a place. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this whānau. Hā ki roto, breathe in. Hā ki waho, breathe out. Hā ki roto, breathe in. Hā ki waho, breathe out. I would like you to think about a special place. Near the Moana, on the Moana. Hold that space in your mind and close your eyes if you have not yet already. Hā ki roto, breathe in. Hā ki waho, breathe out. I want you to bring your full attention to this space. Bathe in it. You don't have to be anywhere else, but in this memory. Sit in the memory and let the space around you surround your being. Hā ki roto, hā ki waho. I want you to move your tiro, your attention to the sky. What do you see? What patterns do you see in the sky? What colours do you see? What colours, what patterns, what do these tell you? Is tamanui te rā, the sun in the sky? Where is he sitting? Can you feel his warmth? What does this tell you? Can you feel tāwhiri, the wind? How does he feel against your skin? Is his breath warm, cold, gentle, forceful? What does this tell you? I want you to turn your attention back to the whenua, the land. Take your shoes off. Place your feet on the ground. Feel the energy drawing up from Papatuanuku. How does it feel? Is it dry? Parched? Damp? Warm? What does this tell you? What can you smell? Take a deep breath in. Hā ki roto. Hā ki waho. Hā ki roto. Hā ki waho. What do you smell? Describe it. Give it a name. What does this tell you? Finally, I want you to turn your attention to the wai. Find the water. Quiet your mind. Listen. What can you hear? How is the wai moving? How is it interacting with the whenua? With tāwhiri? With tamanui? What does this tell you? Hā ki roto, hā ki waho. Hā ki roto, hā ki waho. In 10 seconds, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. When you open your eyes, do not dump this memory. Hold it in your heart, hold it in your head, because we're going to work on it. I'm going to count you out. Rima, wha, toru, rua, tahi. Nau mai, hoki mai, nau mai, hoki mai whānau. We all look a bit bewildered. I'm glad that everybody had a chance to kind of tau ai te Māori, whai whakaro mō ngā wāhi ngākau nui ana ki a koe. I'm glad that everybody had a chance to just settle into this space, this memory that you have, that you hold. I hope it was a nice visit. I hope it was. I hope it was worthwhile. Okay, so with this memory strongly placed at the front of your mind at the moment, I would like you to take a pen and a paper. So these instructions were given to you earlier on, and I hope you guys all listened. A pen and a paper. And I want you to draw this memory. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Tāngia. Bring this memory into the physical world. Give it life, give it form. In whatever way you want to. On your paper with your penne. Gee, whai kare. So we're going to give you, we had said 5 minutes, but we're going to stick to time today, and we're going to give you 2 minutes. So Tāngia. We almost need some music. We need some music. In the background. Okay. Okay.
So we're going to do this for these words.
Okay, how are we going? Everyone feels so serious. Yeah, the silence, jeez. I love the studiousness. Hey, where's your paper? Oh, can't fight. Okay, 1 more minute. Yeah, we need music, eh? Here we go. Break the silence. Ko pau te meneti. Ka pai. Now that you have your amazing and beautiful illustrations of the amazing illustrations of your journey into Te Rua o Mahara, I would like you to find someone to share your story with. We're going to talk about it, so we're going to stop talking. You fellas going to talk about it. So let's do that right now. Let's just take 1 minute to find someone to talk to. Yeah. Anyone. Okay. That's good.
I reckon just leave.
Okay, hey. Oh, I got. Okay. Let them do their perma.
What I'll do
Hello. Okay. So I'm loving the sharing of story. I want to just make. Okay, here we go. Taringa pikari taringa are are. Click with me. Ka pai. So when I say taringa pikari taringa are are, I want you to click with me. Yeah, there you go. Kia ora, ka pai. And I apologize because these were some deep conversations that I just interrupted. But I want to just make sure that there's not just one person speaking, y'all. Make sure that you're sharing the opportunity at this time for your other mate to have a kōrero. Okay, so we have kua ruku ki roto i ngā rua o Mahara. We've been to a meaningful space to us. We have shared it. We have listened. Now, I would like you, as you're in a peer, to think about this concept Māori. Now, we've heard it being dropped within all of the presentations, and there's been some beautiful explanations to help us to understand this concept. Now, with what you have in your understanding, I want you to, as a peer, from the stories that have been told, I want you to write down some words, some descriptive words that speak to this concept of Māori. And I'm going to give you, okay. I want you to write the words down, and I want you to link into this Slido presentation word cloud, and I want you to put those words into this cloud. So everyone take your phones out. This was the third part of the 3 Ps. Pene, pepa, ponu.
That is not compulsory to write them if you want to just chuck them in the Slido. Yep.
Yes.
Ka pai, tēnā koe then.
Yep, so
Yes, we've got our first entry. Good job.
let's talk about it though. Let's talk with your whanaunga, and let's try and understand what this is together. Based on our understanding of Māori and some of the kōrero that has been shared today. E hara tēnei i te whakamātautau. This is not a test. We're just trying to build some collective understanding of what this is.
Kia ora tātou. So, I have been given the auspicious task of not only introducing you a bit more intimately to our panel, but also to taki the kōrero around this whakaaro. Now, a little bit of an introduction to our panel. Our tuakana Rion, among being as handsome as ever in mātātua waka, also spends a lot of time in the iwi space, in the mahi taiao space, in championing that side of mātātua waka up in o Tāwhiwhi, in ngā mahi o te tiriti, me ngā mahi, the different types of wānanga we have, whakatipu his pā kōrero at home. So he brings all of those different kind of pūkenga to the table. Nō reira, tēnā koe te tuakana. Moving on to my matua Carl. Leonard, Uncle Carl spends the majority of his time making some of the most ātāhua traditional Māori clothing in Aotearoa. He is a master weaver by every level of kōrero, even though he will never claim that. But he māngai hoki mō Ngāti Rangi Wewehi, he upoko anō hoki mo tāna hapu, mo tāna whānau hoki. Reira, tēnā koe te matu. Ka huri ki tō tātou whae teina. Whaeteina, well, from my perspective, Whaeteina is a native speaker of our reo, native thinker of our thoughts, te ao Māori thoughts. Tupu mai I te urewera, she spends a lot of time championing te reo, championing mahi Māori, o te whenua, o te whakaaro, in many spaces, including te taiao. Reira tēnei ka mihi kauake kia koe te whae. Tahuri atu ki Aunty Ruiha. Aunty Ruiha is a lecturer of Mātauranga Māori in te reo at te Wānanga o Raukawa. Also an advocate of mahi Māorekura and Karanga. And all of these pūkenga we bring to this mātāpuna. I'd like to open the kōrero from each different perspective around Māori. He wā papaku hei kōrero mo te Māori, from your perspectives. Kia ora tātou, timata ia koe e te tungane.
Kia ora tātou, hohonu rau atu ngā kōrero pūtake o tēnei kupu, te Māori. So I'm going to keep it very, very simple, and it's one that really relates and resonates with me pretty well. So if we break that word Māori order up, we've got a few words within that one word. So te kupu mā is where I'll start. Mā is white, ne? We all know that waiata, but it's also he kupu tāwhito mo te wairua. Uri means you're a descendant, that you descend from someone, and ora means you're living. So when we say Māori ora, we're actually saying we stand here as a descendant of our tūpuna, a living descendant of our tūpuna. Māori for me also means, and a lot of these words are really pretty bang on with me too, but it actually means related. That everything in this world is related, and we are all related to everything in this world. Kia ora tātou.
Ka tira.
Ka tira kei ngā waituku kiri o ngā mātua tūpuna, kei ngā mangawai, kei ngā awa, kei ngā roto, kei ngā moana. Tātou e hi ngarungaru mai nei ki ngā ākau o pōneke, e ai te kōrero kai tai te mahinga, ko tātou nei te whiunga kiuta, kai te mihi. When it comes to Māori, I can only talk about Māori from my perspective as a weaver. Weaver is always the health and the well-being. And it's important to me because ki te kore e ora ai te harekeke, ko kore rawa e ora ko au. So, coming from a little place called Te Awahau, our river is really important to us. We are probably we're the first iwi to have co-governance with our council over our wai, so wai is really important to us. And then, of course, with the wai and what's been happening of late, we have to ensure that everything around that wai is healthy. I mean, I think too often we've taken a back seat of just letting somebody else do the mahi and let other people come into the area, come into your home and do the mahi for you. But I think one of the important things that we've been learning, when people say to you, you've got to come home to the marae, you know, get to learn, know your wharenui, your kuia, your tūpuna. But you know, actually that's the wrong thing. It's for your tūpuna to know you. So it's not about you going back and learning about your place. It's about your tūpuna learning who you are. Because quite often we become so disconnected from that Māori, we don't know our place. We don't know where we are. He Māori rere, kāri te u ki tērā wāhi. So for me, Māori is an important thing as a weaver because that's your whenua, your tūpuna. They grow through the plant life and give you life. He ahua rere ke pēr tēnei kōrero. Kai ngā wāhi katoa, engari kai te mihi atu ki a tātou. Mā teina ke e tuku mai te māramatanga, kia whiua mai te māramatanga ki runga i āku kupu. A tēnā tātou.
A tāhi ai, kia tātāu, kua ahi ahi ke. Kua tataturu te ahi pō. Hoi anō, tēnei te mihi ake anō ki tōku tau mātāra ki te noho roa i tēnei rā. Right. Now, thank you for your contributions, your kupu and all the descriptors that were stimulated by your imaginary return to your beachfront property. Māori, I think very succinctly, kai te tautoko katoa nā whakaaro katoa kua puta. I think when I read through the gamut of contributions you've made on screen, many of those kupu are describing to me the outcome of Māori. The outcomes of Māori and the indicators and signposts that Māori is either present or it is not present. So Māori enjoys a continuum. It enjoys a continuum. And along that continuum of Māori are intervals of different levels and standards and sanctity of Māori. Hundreds of them, not just one or two, hundreds of them. So as we move through life, we experience different forms of being thrilled and excited and moved emotionally, spiritually. Those are intervals that belong to a continuum of Māori. The opposite of Māori is not death. The opposite of Māori is something our tipuna have long spoken of, and the opposite of Māori ora is kahupo. And kahupo does not mean death. Kahupo means that you are spiritually blind. So Māori ora must mean that you are spiritually awake.
Kia ora tātou. So Waiaria was going to jump up as soon as she gave you the task of having a kōrero with each other. You know, he rawe tērā, ka rongo I te hoi hoi, te haruru o te whare. And so we kind of called her over, this one and I said to this one, because while they're talking, we have a wānanga. We're still working through things. And I said to Teina, what did I say? Kaue haukotia te Māori o te kōrero. So what that means is do not interfere with the flow of Māori. And that Māori is what was happening in the room. So you were all talking. And I thought, okay, she reminds me of a younger self of me who likes to control. But sometimes tukuna te Māori kia rere. Tukuna te Māori kia rere. I think the other thing I want to add is there's a word on there, mana. He hoa haere te Māori me te mana. Earlier on, this is something I've been hearing a lot, and I have to disagree with this view. And this view comes from many Māori, which is they talk about kua ngaro te Māori. Kua ngaro te mana. Kua ngaro te mana. I've been thinking about that and thinking about some of the things our old people talk about. And you never, ever relinquish mana. Ko te mana, nā ngā atua, nā ngā tūpuna. It can, however, diminish, but it is never lost, nor do you ever give it over to anyone. It is merely diminished. And the same can happen with Māori. The same can happen with Māori. One other thing I learned earlier on in my life, the source of Māori when you're born, when you're developing, I te kōpū o tō whaia, nō wai, nō te whaia. It is from your mother. The Māori, the source of your Māori comes from your mother.
Kia ora tātou. Just round of applause, tātou. We made it through that first round, didn't it? Ngā mihi nui. One of the kōrero that I was brought up with is that Māori exists in you and it exists between you. It's the some value of what you share. Kia ora. It's the sum value of what shares between you. It's the connection of energy that is shared between one living force and another living force, and can only be shared through connection. So what we have here are components, outputs, outcomes of Māori that is descended, inherited, that has a source that you must connect to, that invigorates your life, and that you can never lose. Kia ora tātou. Another round of applause for that one. I don't think people understand what we just did there, but we were able to synthesize everyone's concept into a unified perspective of Māori simply by getting everyone to imagine the place that they have, the healthy place in their head. He mātauranga tērā. Imagine if we were actually out in the taiao. That is a part of regaining maramataka. That is a part of regaining mātauranga tukuiho. That's one of the tools that we are trying to implement in our synthesis kaupapa. Tā mātou kaupapa tuarua.
Kia ora. So this is not the end of our interactive workshop presentation, and I know you fellas are going, yay! We are going to work with you. Pardon? Yes, we're going to do whakapapai. So to start off with, we were kind of, our time was squashed up, but now we have been released. So we are going to actually take this opportunity to do another quick kind of activity. We're going to do the same thing. I want you to work with your partner, and I want you to think about another concept that we have heard today, another concept that we live and breathe, and another concept that we would like to develop some deeper understanding around. And this concept is whakapapa. So Rere and Auntie kind of drew us into a journey into the whakapapa of wai, and we would like you to just have a kōrero with your partner and come up with some kupu. So same thing, come up with some kupu and chuck them up on the Slido. Whakapapa, whakapapa. Mena ka pirangi.
Oh, it's so quiet now. I've had enough.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Couple minutes, whānau. Couple minutes. I want to see that screen filled up before we actually move on.
You could be the one be the one We could dance to an dance what we have now, but I have you and I can't let go. I'm just talking one night, baby, one night, baby, one night more. I could be more wise with my words, but I don't want you to grow too cold. Baby, you're the one that I want. Ooh, but I need answers. Baby, give me one night. Give me one night just to fix myself. I could dress to impress just to feel right. But you need me, you don't need no one else. Well, can you give me one word? Give me one word, whispered in my ear. Don't you feel so free just to leave me? Don't deceive me, can you keep me near? Baby, you're the one that I want. Ooh, but I need answers. Baby, you're the one that I want.
Okay, 20 seconds, whānau.
But I need answers. I might be the one for you. I'm waiting here in line for your love. But my doubt seems to grow. I'm shaking with the fear of what's to come.
Kia ora. Nā.
10, 9,
Nā, kau.
8,
Kei te tika tēnei, e te rongo, e te
Seven.
rongo, e te rongo.
6,
Mare au te rongo i au.
5,
Kau.
4,
Kei te rongo, kau.
3,
Can you?
Tihei Māori ora. Tihei Māori ora. Kia ora tātou. So moving on to our wānanga about whakapapa. Ka tukuna te wā ki a koe, auntie.
Kei te mahi, kei te rongo? Kei te rongo? Okay. Oh, kia ora. Iho mai tēnei, rākau ki au. Ko era mea katoa, ka whai wāhi ki roto i tēnei mea e kia nei ko te whakapapa. Nā reira, e whakai anau ki ngā kōrero katoa. Kind of skirting around. I'm not here to define what whakapapa is, other than to say all of these kupu go directly into that. It is everybody's experience. Everybody is at different places when it comes to whakapapa and what that is and what that means. I think starting with whānau, tūranga waiwai, it's really important. Just on that level, for myself and Carl, it's important that our kids know who they are and where they're from. And they're fortunate as Māori if they are growing up on their own tūranga waiwai. Just as Carl was fortunate, I was fortunate, but many other Māori, for whatever reason, are not. So all of those things there, disconnection, trauma, positive and negative. Ka wai hoki kona.
Kia ora. I think, thank you for your contributions. I think there is depth and breadth in the things that you have shared around whakapapa. And I haven't moved from the position that I took this morning around whakapapa. And that is that there is an inherent and innate responsibility that is embedded in the notion of whakapapa. I said earlier that whakapapa is one of the most vital forces. It's the most vital force in the whole universe. And amongst my people, nothing else is referred to as taonga but whakapapa. The word taonga is reserved for whakapapa only, where I'm from. And one of the reasons is because the potency of whakapapa places on me, there is an incumbent obligation on me to take care of you when you are in my space. That's what whakapapa should invoke and evoke for all of us, it doesn't necessarily do that, because that's why we have words like trauma being signalled as well. Because when that obligation and responsibility is unknown or absent, it causes a trauma. So I think we have to be really clear about that. Whakapapa also binds things so they are inseverable. And they bind not only human entities, but non-human entities to the human entity as well.
Me pehe te whai atu e rā kōrero. Hoi anō, pai katoa au ki e nei kupu katoa. Engari ko te kupu tiki ngākau I roti au, ko taua kupu ko te obligation. You know, we have our relationships to one another. We are family, yes, but you are obliged to look after everyone. There's no sense of an I, it's always a sense of a we. Anything happening at the marae, there's an expectation that you will be there. It happens amongst our people. I look at other people and say, ka hoki au ki tēnei ao marama, ka hoki Pākehā mai. Kia mutu te hono. It's a good joke, but you know, I think the sense of obligation to one another is really what keeps us going. Hoi anō, ka pāhi atu ki aia, tērā pē kai aia te tehi maramatanga mo tātane.
Hard acts to follow, but for me, my opinion, who are you if you don't know who you are? And so whakapapa gives us insight into who we are, and probably why we do some silly things we do sometimes. But again, I go back to my kupu that I used before, actually for Māori. It's about understanding the relationship of the past, the relationship to the present, and the relationship to the future, that it's all connected into the same thing, synthesized into the same thing. And that's really important. And again, I tautoko the kore, it's not just how we relate to one another, it's how we relate to the world that we live in. So how we relate to the rākau, to the trees, how we relate to the stones, how we relate to the moana. That's what whakapapa is for me. It's how we relate to Papa Tuanuku, ultimately, and our inherited gifts. We're only latest blueprints of our past. And we must remember what happened in our past moulded what we are right now, but we also, and more importantly, must remember what we do now will affect into the future. It's all linked into the same thing. Whakapapa.
Kia ora. Tēnā koutou I nei kōrero ara ngatira. So I'm going to just try and use these whakaro and say we apply them to a kauri or a pāua. And we're looking at it and we're assessing, okay, so we know for things to have Māori ora. First of all, they must be connected. They must have tūpuna directly feeding into them. Secondly, we must understand those connections and the obligations that each tūpuna phase feeds into the next to get optimum Māori out of that stream of tūpuna whakaheke in their whakapapa. And then further more than that, that must continue in order for intergenerational health and albeit sustainability across generations in the continuum. Furthermore, creating a whānau environment or a critical mass of health that spills over eternally, then we can start to understand what Māori ora and whakapapa contribute to sustainable seas. What do you think about that? Ka pai? Homa e paki mo te whānau nei tēnā tātou. E tū whānau, we're going to go through our waiata, and I think we might call it a ki reira. Ka pai? No. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of times. No, it's a couple of times. Okay. Do we need to go through the words again, or we are straight into it? Kia rere arorangi ngā mata ki te atea nui, ki te whakawhetu i te rangi. Ko wai hoki rā te wai, ko ahaura, ko wai nui a te akarere i hora, ko te wai moa. Te moana nui, te moana roa, te moana hākere, te moana tā poko poko e ana. Tuha tuha mai ana, koi ako moana nui. Tuha tuha mai ana, koi ako moana tu ki te repo. Hara mai e hika, te moana tu ki te wawe. Wai wai ana ko te wai tānoni o te puaha. Ue ue a te papa, ue a te papa. Tangaroa, tangaroa ka haruru. Tangaroa ka ia piro piro. Ko ahaura, ko tangaroa, ko ahaura. Ko wainui a te, ko ahaura. Ko te iratanga, ko te kawapu wainuku. Tēnei te toi tuake nei e iana. Kia ora tātou, throughout our synthesis, we'll learn this waiata, huri, kia ora tātou.